might think fast food is a modern invention, born from drive-thrus and delivery apps. But what if I told you the concept is thousands of years old? Forget the Golden Arches. We're heading back nearly 2 millennia to the bustling streets of ancient Pompeii, frozen in time by Mount Vesuvius, to uncover the world's original fast food scene. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're peeling back the layers of volcanic ash to explore the incredible food culture of Pompeii. When Vesuvius erupted in 79 AD, it didn't just preserve buildings and bodies, it preserved everyday life, including how ordinary Romans ate. And trust me, it wasn't all lavish banquets and reclining on couches. For many Pompeians, grabbing a quick hot meal on the street was a daily reality. Get ready to discover the thermopolia, equivalent of your neighborhood takeaway. So, picture this. You're walking down a busy Pompeian street. Stone pavements, maybe some chariots rattling by, people calling out, vendors selling their wares. And dotted along these streets, especially at busy intersections, you find them. The thermopolia. The name literally means hot drink sellers, but they offered much more. Imagine a small shop, often open right onto the street, dominated by an L-shaped masonry counter. Embedded into this counter are large earthenware jars called dolia. These weren't just decorative. They held the ready-made food and drink, sometimes kept warm by a fire underneath or simply holding preserved goods. The counters themselves were often brightly painted, sometimes with frescoes depicting food items or mythological scenes. Archaeologists have unearthed over 80 of these establishments in Pompeii alone. That's a huge number for a city of its size, telling us just how popular and essential they were. But what exactly were they dishing out from those counters? Forget fries and a Coke. The menu at a Pompeian thermopolium was hearty, simple, and based entirely on locally available ingredients. Think thick lentil stews, steaming bowls of spelt porridge, or maybe some coarse bread paired with salty cheese and olives. Nuts like walnuts and almonds were common snacks, as were fruits like figs and dates. Evidence suggests they served roasted meats, likely pork, or maybe even dormice, considered a delicacy back then. And archaeologists have found direct evidence, like the bones of pigs, goats, fish, and even snails, sometimes mixed together in the bottom of those dolia, hinting at rich, mixed stews or soups. It was food designed to be filling and affordable for the average person on the move. Now, you can't talk about Roman food without mentioning garum. This potent, fermented fish sauce was the Roman ketchup, adding a savory umami kick to almost everything. It was likely available at thermopolia, either as a condiment or an ingredient in the stews. And to wash it all down? Wine, of course, but probably not the fancy stuff. Cheap, local wine, often watered down, would have been the standard. Another popular option was pasca, a refreshing, slightly vinegary drink made from water and vinegar, popular with soldiers and the working class. So, while it sounds basic, imagine grabbing a warm bowl of stew, a chunk of bread, and a cup of cheap wine on a cool evening. Sounds pretty good, right? You won't believe some of the more exotic finds, though. Analysis of one thermopolium revealed traces suggesting duck, pig, goat, fish, and snail were all cooked together in one pot. Talk about a Roman casserole. So, who were the main customers lining up at these ancient snack bars? It wasn't typically the wealthy elite. Rich Pompeians had elaborate homes known as domus, equipped with their own kitchens, slaves to cook for them, and formal dining rooms called triclinia. They would host dinner parties at home. The thermopolia catered primarily to the less affluent residents, the shopkeepers, artisans, travelers, and especially the vast number of people living in apartment blocks called insulae. These apartments often lacked private cooking facilities, making the local thermopolium an essential service, like a communal kitchen and dining room rolled into one. They weren't just places to eat, they were social hubs where people could gather, chat, maybe gamble, dice games were popular, and catch up on the local gossip while grabbing a bite. Think of it as the ancient equivalent of grabbing coffee or hitting a local pub. It's fascinating to compare these ancient eateries to our modern fast food joints, isn't it? The core concept is remarkably similar, providing quick, convenient, ready-to-eat food for people who are busy or lack home cooking facilities. The focus was on speed and accessibility. However, there are obvious differences. Pompeian fast food was based on local, seasonal ingredients, cooked using relatively simple methods. There were no global supply chains or heavily processed ingredients. The menu was likely less standardized than McDonald's, varying from one thermopolium to another based on what the owner could source or cook that day. And while they were commercial enterprises, they likely felt more integrated into the community fabric, less about branding and more about serving the immediate neighborhood. Could a time traveler from Pompeii recognize our modern fast food? Maybe the concept, but the ingredients, the scale, and the technology would be utterly alien. So, the next time you're short on time and grab a quick meal, remember the Pompeians. Nearly 2,000 years ago, on the bustling streets of a Roman city, ordinary people were doing much the same thing. The thermopolia of Pompeii stand as incredible evidence of a sophisticated urban food culture, proving that the demand for convenient, ready-made food, the original fast food, is far from a modern phenomenon. It's a taste of Roman daily life, served hot and ready, preserved forever under the ash. What do you think? Would you try some authentic Pompeian street food if you could? Maybe a bowl of lentil stew and some pasca? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this trip back in time, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more historical explorations, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into the past. Thanks for watching.